Robin Hood, Part 1. How Robin Hood came to live in the green wood. Once upon a time, there was a good king in England called Richard Coeur de Lion. But his brother Prince John was not at all a nice man. England was ruled by two races, the Normans and the Saxons. They hated each other, and this hatred lasted for a long time. Richard was a brave and noble man who loved danger and noble deeds. He went to fight for the city of our Lord in the Holy Land. But his brother Prince John was jealous and angry. He meant to make himself king altogether and never let Richard come back. Robin was a Saxon noble who lost everything in a fight with his bitter enemy. He fled to Sherwood Forest, where he began his new life as an outlaw. In the forest, Robin made an oath to help the weak and fight the strong. He also swore to take from the rich and give to the poor. Robin's adventures in the forest soon became famous. He and his band of outlaws robbed the rich and gave to the poor. Robin's closest companion was Little John, a giant of a man. Robin's closest companion was Little John, a giant of a man. Despite their strong friendship, they initially fought when they first met. One sunny spring day, Robin crossed paths with a tall stranger on a narrow bridge over a swollen river. They agreed to duel on the bridge, with the loser falling into the river. Despite the bridge's instability, they exchanged powerful blows. The stranger's mighty strike sent Robin tumbling into the river. The stranger helped Robin out of the water, and they became fast friends. Robin signaled his band with his bugle horn, and his merry bowmen emerged from the forest, ready to greet their master.
The stranger, John Little, was welcomed by the merry men after Robin revealed his identity. Despite his imposing height, they affectionately called him Little John. They shared a hearty dinner and enjoyed Little John's wit. After the merriment, they celebrated Little John as Robin's new companion.
The Wedding of Allan-Dale. One day, Robin encountered a knight in scarlet satin, singing joyfully in the woods. Curious but busy, Robin didn't stop to inquire about the knight. The next day, Little John and Much captured the same knight, now dressed in somber grey attire and appearing despondent. Allan-Dale explained his woes of falling in love with a beautiful lady whose father intended to marry her off to an old, wealthy man. Moved by Allan's story, Robin offered help in exchange for future loyalty. The plan to reunite Allan and his love was set in motion. Disguised as a minstrel, Robin arrived at Dale Abbey on the wedding day. He watched as guests gossiped about the unhappy bride and the unattractive groom. Finally, Christabel made her entrance, captivating everyone with her beauty. With a heart full of pity for the bride, Robin prepared to intervene and reunite Allan and Christabel. They reached the altar, and Robin Hood, revealing his true identity, interrupted the wedding, objecting to the mismatched bride and groom. Amidst the chaos, the bishop demanded to know who Robin was. Robin introduced himself with a blast of his horn, silencing the commotion. Robin proposed that Christabel should choose her suitor from his band of men, and she picked Allan-Dale. The wedding could proceed, but the bishop refused to officiate. Robin, undeterred, had Friar Tuck take on the role of the officiant, leading a joyful ceremony despite some laughter from the congregation. Christabel and Allan-Dale were wed, and they joined Robin Hood's band in Sherwood Forest. The wedding became legendary for its merriment, and the ruins of the abbey where it occurred still stand in Derbyshire today. Robin Hood and the Butcher. The sheriff despised Robin and oppressed the poor Saxons. Many sought refuge with Robin in Sherwood Forest. Despite his hatred, the sheriff failed to capture Robin. Robin's clever disguises always eluded him. The sheriff was afraid of Robin's skilled band. His own men served out of fear, not loyalty. One day, Robin assumed the role of a butcher. He traded clothes and arrived at the market. The sheriff invited Robin to dine with him. Robin played along, even exaggerating his cattle and land. The sheriff was a greedy man who wanted to cheat Robin out of his horned cattle. He was willing to do anything to make a profit. Despite Robin's cunning plan, the sheriff was oblivious to his intentions. He was overjoyed at the prospect of making money. Robin and the sheriff ventured into Sherwood Forest, where Robin blew his horn. Little John and his band arrived, and a grand feast was prepared. The sheriff was caught off guard when he realized he was in Robin Hood's company. He regretted not capturing Robin when he had the chance. Robin demanded payment from the sheriff for the feast, and Little John found £300 in gold. Robin redistributed the money among his band, sparing the sheriff's life. Robin Hood and the Bishop. The bishop was angered by Robin's antics and sought revenge. He gathered soldiers to capture or kill Robin and collect a reward from the Sheriff of Nottingham. One sunny June day, Robin accidentally crossed the bishop's path. Fearing capture, he fled, leading the soldiers on a wild chase through the dense woods. Robin's knowledge of the forest allowed him to outmaneuver his pursuers. Finally, he reached the cottage of an old woman he had aided in the past. The old woman hid Robin in her home and agreed to help. Robin donned her clothes and a disguise while she promised to wear his Lincoln green outfit. Using his new appearance, Robin rejoined his men. Little John, initially mistaking Robin for a witch, was about to shoot an arrow at him when Robin revealed his true identity.
Robin, now clad in Lincoln green, led his band through the forest in search of the bishop. The bishop and his men arrived at the old woman's cottage, believing they had captured Robin Hood. The old woman put up a feisty fight, but ultimately let them bind her hands. The bishop ordered a fine horse for his prisoner, believing Robin's alleged ugliness was a result of his wickedness. But his delight quickly faded when they stumbled upon Robin and his band under the greenwood tree. Robin confronted the bishop, demanded the money taken from the poor, and allowed the bishop to go, but insisted he sing mass first. In the serene forest, they knelt together for the service, the birds joining in as the trees whispered their amens. Robin then returned the bishop to the forest path, asking him to thank God for the day's mercies and not forget Robin Hood in his prayers.